All right, this is a presentation of the Homeland Security and its importance to the U.S. What is Homeland Security? This is basically a group of federal agencies that operate under one umbrella to ensure a homeland that is safe, secure, resilient to against terrorism and other hazards. Why was Homeland Security formed? The Department of Homeland Security was formed in 2003 after the events of 9/11 terrorist attack. At that time, the department was formed to focus on federal preparations to deal with the terrorism while managing other duties which include border security, customs, and emergency management. What they do: Homeland Security encompasses both natural disasters and many man-made events. Therefore, they are responsible for a plethora of events such as earthquakes and hurricanes like Irma that hit Florida and Katrina that hit New Orleans and Mississippi, and acts of terrorism such as the Boston bombing and 9/11. What are these federal agencies? The United States Citizenship and Immigration Services, USCIS, United States Coast Guard, USCG, United Customs and Border Patrol, CBD, Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, Federal Emergency Management, which is a lot of people know as FEMA, United States Immigration and Customs Services, which is ICE, Transportation Security Administration, which is TISA, and United States Secret Service. Well, the importance of the USCIS: this is an agency that is responsible for the lawful immigration system. They are the ones who fairly grant immigration benefits while protecting the nation. Granting naturalization, that's basically if someone was born in another country and they wanted to gain U.S. citizenship, that they had to go through USCIS, and also permanent residence. I had to go through this. I was born in Jamaica, and then basically I had to apply for my permanent residence after being married. And after 5 years of being a permanent resident, I had to basically apply for my naturalization. That's basically giving up my citizenship to Jamaica. So I had to go through this. So it was a very rigorous process in which I was fingerprinted, and basically all my rights was given away from Jamaica, and I had to take like basically mug shots and stuff, and just to make sure that I was basically eligible for the immigration benefits. Also, another agency is actually U.S. Coast Guard. They're the only military organization that is in Homeland Security. The Coast Guard has over 42,000 employees, both men and women, that actively serve to defend the United States borders and marine environment and air areas. They provide a safe maritime environment for those who live, work, and engage in recreational activities. They are also the ones who protect the maritime economy, such as responding to oil spills and arresting individuals who violate maritime policies. They defend the maritime borders and have deployed units that are used to combat terrorism. I actually had to do basically an interview of a National Coast Guard, and one of the guys was actually from one of these units. He actually lives in my apartment complex, and basically he actually went in depth as to what these. I was so shocked because I thought the Coast Guard basically just circumnavigated the United States Coast Guard coastal areas and stuff, but they actually have units that actually are deployable, and they fight only terrorism. They also work inland, so I didn't know this. So basically, this is one of the things that U.S. Coast Guard does and what the Homeland Security has been doing, but we don't know, but they actually have been doing it. The United States Customs and Border Patrol, they actually are another agency that falls under Homeland Security. This agency is the largest component of the Homeland Security. Their main priority is to keep terrorists and their weapons away from the United States. They are also responsible for securing the securing of trades and travel while enforcing hundreds of U.S. regulations, such as immigration laws, and immigration and also drug laws. They are located in over 330 ports throughout the U.S., which enable them to protect us effectively. Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, CISA. CISA is responsible for protecting national critical infrastructure from physical and cyber threats. These are basically terrorists who actually trying to basically attack our computers. They're the one that basically stop these threats. So this mission requires effective coordination and collaboration among a broad spectrum of government and private sector organizations. So along with CISA, there's a lot of private sector organizations that work with them to help them combat these terrorism plots. Another one is FEMA, and we know that Federal Emergency Management Agency. The Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, is responsible for coordinating the federal government's response to natural and man-made disasters. Their mission is basically helping people before, during, and after disasters. FEMA is charged with providing both immediate and long-term assistance to local and state governments as well as individuals. FEMA is one of the most important agencies in the federal government when it comes down to potential impact on people's life when crisis occurs. ICE is also another important agency in the Department of Homeland Security. The United States Immigration and Customs Enforcement is responsible for an important sector in the national security and safety. It is the largest investigative agency in the Department of Homeland Security and maintains enforcement of the national immigration and customs law. Their main duties is to enforce immigration, and they also fight terrorism. These duties are carried out by a variety of different individuals involved in law enforcement, as well as intelligence and mission support. ICE agents are uniquely responsible for controlling the safety and security of this country. So in order for you to be an ICE agent, you have to go through rigorous background checks. They have to go through polygraph testing and whole different plethora of things in order to get into that department, or into any of these department per se, because terrorists they have money, and basically when they have money, they basically can go to these people and say, look, I need you to do this, I need to do that. But they have to make sure that the people who are protecting us, they cannot be swayed away from national security because money is involved. So TISA, Transportation Security Administration. This is basically the people that was created after 9/11. Basically to strengthen the nation's transportation system while encouraging the freedom of movement of people traveling. Within the year, TISA assumed responsibility for the security of national airports and deployed several workforce screens on commercial airline passengers and baggage. They're responsible basically for checking all the baggage. Basically, TISA also stopped many potential terrorist plots since the agency was implemented. There are some astronomical stats. Homeland Security has helped to identify approximately 1,750 suspicious cases every year since 9/11, and has been a vital role in multiple terrorism investigations since 9/11. Prior to 9/11, there were kind of lacks, in checking baggage, but now TISA actually checks 100% of all checked baggage and carry-on baggage for explosives and anything that terrorists might use to basically hurt people while traveling. Over 1.8 million people, illegal immigrants, were apprehended in 2017 by CBD or other immigration agencies. Further, in 2017 alone, DHL had 2,554 encounters with individuals who are on terrorist watch, basically by the FBI and so on for traveling toward the U.S. So if we didn't have all these agencies, basically our country would have been in pandemonium, because right now we've been constant terror because of terrorists. So these agencies are very, very important to basically safeguarding the safety of the United States and our citizens. So that's all I have to say for now. I hope you enjoyed my presentation. And again, my name is Ricardo Baker, and have a pleasant day.